Am I audible? Yes. Yes. So, as I told in the previous class, I'll start with realism. Fine. So now, the basic aspect of realism is based on a person called Hobbes. Fine. There was a person by name Hobbes. Now, let me tell you a small story about him. Now, this guy, Hobbes, was in UK. And when he was in UK, Spanish people had tried to attack UK. And he was in his mother's womb when this incident occurred. His mother went into the kitchen. She was holding her, ears. She was shivering and she was sitting at a corner. And after that, her mother delivered Hobbes. Hobbes says, my mother delivered fear and me. Right? Because there was a fear that they may kill us. Later, he will grow. When he grew, with his uncle's support and all, he entered into the palace and he was teaching to prince's son and all. And one fine day, the Protestants, Catholics and Protestants, UK at that time was into Catholic, king was there, Protestants came, they call themselves as Democrats who wanted democracy, remove kingdom. They came, they made the king to stand in center of the road, they chopped the head of the king. Where? UK. Remember, UK did not get democracy easily. We won't read all those aspects, that's the thing. And Hobbes saw that. In his entire life, what he saw was people will kill, others. If you are not powerful enough, you may be killed anytime. And the Democrats were searching for all the people who are relatives of the prince and the king. So he used to run from one place to another place for his life. So for him, the basic aspect is right to life. He says, why do you want money? Why do you want, what do you call it as education? Why do you want buildings if your life is not there? So, whenever state is not there, we all will die because human beings will always kill other human beings. So he says, you will, let us take, he says, state of nature. They use the term called state of nature. What is the meaning of state of nature? That is, when state was not there, how nature existed, how was the society before state? That is called as what? State of nature. And according to Hobbes, state of nature, that means when state is not there, I use the term anarchy. Remember, when state is not there, we will have anarchy. And in anarchy, we will have state of war. What will we have? State of war. What is state of war? One will kill the other. So when state is not there, definitely there will be one person killing the other. And human nature is in its self-interest. Humans always fight for their own self-interest. Correct? They will never act in self-interest of others or interest of others. Human beings always act in its own self-interest. And everyone will fight against the other. This is the core concept of who? Hobbes. So you tell me, are human beings good according to Hobbes or human beings bad according to Hobbes? Bad. Now, the same human being should be taken to state. Human being is at the individual level, state is at international level. The way human beings behave, state will also behave the same way. Why? State is also run by human beings. So, if state of nature is state of war, then state of international relations is also state of war. As human beings act according to their self-interest, state should also act according to our own self-interest. State should never act according to others' interest. State should not tell, "Ore, Bangladesh people, you come. Like, Sri Lanka people, you come. What is happening in your country? I am worried." No. See whether it hurts you or not. Then you go with it. This is what, who says? Hobbes. And there is another guy called Machiavelli. Okay, you tell me, should king be ethical or not? What will you read? That's why ethics is there for you, right? Ethics topic is there for you to ensure that once you become bureaucrats, you will be ethical. Machiavelli says, king should not be ethical. He says, don't be ethical. Who asked you to be ethical? Don't be ethical. If a king gives a word, let's say I'm a king, I'm giving you a word. Give a word, but don't do. Be good in front of everyone, but don't do anything good. Everyone should feel that you trust them, but you are not trusting anyone. Politics should not be ethical. He says, in politics, no one is ethical. If you are ethical, your people will suffer. Are you getting the point? You can be ethical at the individual level. Okay, for my wife, I am ethical. For my children, I am ethical. Fine. You can't be ethical at the state level. You tell me, one king believes that he should follow Jainism. And if he says, all people die along with me, you are all my people. I am going to reach God. How? I am going to do tapas. I am going to reach God. You all die along with me. Can a king say like that? What is the responsibility of a king? To protect its people. So as the responsibility of a king is to protect its people, he should never be ethical. For him, what is more important? Values are not important. What is more important? National interest is important. State interest is important. For him, like, if you want to be a good king, if you want to protect your people, don't be ethical. Who is trying to tell? Machiavelli. And realism likes these type of people. Two people realism like. Who are the two people? Hobbes, Machiavelli. We will read about Hobbes and Machiavelli in detail when we talk about paper 1. Part A, we have them. But as of now, I hope you got the two things. right? Write a small note. Realism, you write. Realism. Below that, you write. The theory of realism became popular only after Second World War. Second World War. Full stop. There are few philosophies. Which realism would accept. First one, Hobbes. Hyphen. Hobbes argue that the primary interest of every individual is his self interest and the most important right of an individual is right to life. Full stop. In state of nature, that is when there is stateless society or anarchy, then there will be state of war. And in state of war, survival becomes important. He analyzes human nature as predictable. And he argues that humans are constantly involved in war, for their self-interest. For their self-interest. Next point. Another person or philosopher important for realism is Machiavelli. First, he argued that politics must be separated from ethics. Politics must be separated from ethics. A king should not be ethical. Full stop. He can be ethical at individual level, but not at state level. Not at state level. Next, you write, based on the above philosophers, realism started with its own understanding of the world. Okay, guys, this theory is divided into three parts. One is called classical realism. Second one is neo-realism. Classical realism, neo-realism, and then you will have neo-classical realism. Are you getting the point? What are the three? Classical, neo-realism, neo-classical realism. Okay, now always remember, when they ask you to write classical realism, you should write what classical realism tells. But if they ask you to critically analyze, always you should write from neo-realism point of view. That is what you should use, neo-realism, and criticize classical realism. You should use other theories to criticize. Unlike other subjects where if they ask you to critically evaluate, what you do, you will write merits and demerits. Okay, but here critically evaluate always means you should use other thinkers, other theories, and tell whether it is right or wrong. In PSIR, if you try to write your own criticism, they won't accept. There are already people who have criticized. You should follow their criticism. See, from classical, modification of classical realism is neo-realism. And then people said neorealism is not correct, than neorealism, neoclassical realism is better. That is, classical itself is better, but in present form. The meaning of this, it changes. We'll see how it changes. But guys, okay. Let us say there are two political parties. Okay. BJP and Congress. Okay. Now, you tell me, BJP stands for religion. Fine. BJP focuses on development. BJP focuses on nationalism. Are you getting the point? Congress, on the other hand, they are people-centric. Slow development. Fine. So, let me tell, political people who like BJP. Can I say people who like BJP will like BJP because some may say religion, some may say development, some may say nationalism. Same way, can we say people who like Congress will have their own things? So, remember, when I say BJP supporters, then there will be some core things that all BJP supporters like. When I say Congress supporters, that means there will be some core things that all Congress supporters want. Similarly, when I say realism, there will be some core aspects which realists never compromise. Whether it is classical realism, neo-realism, neoclassical realism, doesn't matter. Everyone will stick to some terminologies. Liberalism also stick to certain terminologies. So every theory, it may be different within it, but they're all under realism. They're all branches of realism because they are focusing on what? Some particular ideas. Okay, they are focusing on some particular ideas. You tell me, democracy. What are the different types of democracy you have? You may have parliamentary form of democracy. You may have presidential form of democracy. Correct? Now, are they different or are they same? But what is the common thing in both? People will elect. Correct? People will elect. So, similarly, when I say realism, there will be some terminologies which realists always focus on. And those terminologies are, irrespective of whether you remember realism or not, these terminologies, if you know, you will never go wrong. Let's say they will ask you E.H. Carr's contribution to realism. You didn't study E.H. Carr. You can write these words and elaborate them. They'll give marks. Because every realist should speak this. Are you getting the point? So the first one, what every realist will talk is about states. What do they say for them? What is more important? State. Okay. You do anything, state is important. State cannot be compromised. According to whom? Realists. But there are other thinkers like liberals. Liberals say, Arey, what is state today? There is nothing called state. Today, MNCs are there, multinational corporations are there, NGOs are there, United Nations is there. So today we are talking about supranation. Today we are talking about sub-nation. Like, but there is nothing called state. For whom? Liberals. Whereas realists say, whatever it is, who takes decision? State. So for realists, always what is important? State. Second, you should never ever compromise on sovereignty. You should never ever compromise on sovereignty. Third, what whatever you act, it should be purely on the basis of your self-interest. I'll ask a very simple thing. Russia is waging war on Ukraine. And all the people in the world are supporting, let us say US, European Union. Everyone is supporting whom? Ukraine. Whom India is supporting? India is supporting whom? Are we purchasing oil from Russia? Yes. So India is purchasing oil from Russia. All these people asked India, why are you purchasing oil from Russia? If you purchase oil from Russia, what is going to happen? You tell me, if you purchase oil from Russia, what is going to happen? Russia will use the same money. Yes, and what will Russia do? Russia will use the same money and Russia will use it for war. That means India, you are funding the war. Jaishankar was there. Now they asked Jaishankar, what are you doing? Is it correct? Jaishankar said, I have to feed 1 billion population. I have 1.4 to 1.5 billion population. Highest poverty is there in my country. Do you expect me to give them costly oil? Or do you expect me to provide them cheap oil? It is my responsibility as head of the state to give my people products at a cheaper cost. To uplift poverty, in my self-interest, I am purchasing oil from Russia. I'm not purchasing oil from Russia because Russia will wage war. I'm doing it because it is in my self-interest. Is that correct? So are we doing according to our own self-interest? Are you getting the point? What is more important? Self-interest. And what is important? What is self-interest? Survival. You tell me, if I'm calm today, India is peaceful country. We won't wage war. We won't develop weapons. We won't do anything. China came and hit and went. Nehru was like that only. Nehru was thinking of Nobel Peace Prize. Nehru's ideology was, he will be given Nobel Peace Prize. He was fighting for Nobel Peace Prize. Who? Nehru. He thought China will not come and attack. China came, attacked and went. Then he realized what his concept was wrong. You tell me, should we be ethical or should we be cautious? Survival. Are you getting the point? And how will you survive? What do you need to survive? What do you need to survive? Correct? Who is more powerful? You tell me, is India powerful? Bangladesh powerful? Is India powerful? Sri Lanka powerful? India powerful? Pakistan powerful? India is powerful with respect to Pakistan in terms of economy. Militarily, they are also strong. India powerful, China powerful? India is capable of giving fight back to China as well. India powerful, US powerful? US is more powerful. India powerful, Russia powerful? Russia is more powerful. But Pakistan, China and all, we are trying to balance. We are trying to hit. Are you getting the point? These keywords must be there with you. You write note and write this down. Fine. Okay. Now you write heading as classical realism. Classical realism. Below that, Morgenthau's 6 principles. Morgenthau's 6 principle. Morgenthau's 6 principle. Yes. Okay. See guys. Now he is one of the main person of classical realism. Okay, Morgenthau. He gave 6 principles. Mains direct question. Right? 20 marks. They may ask you Morgenthau's 6 principle, or each principle they may give and ask you to elaborate for 10 marks. Both are possible. You should have enough content for every principle. Okay. Now, what is the first principle? You write below. First principle, hyphen, politics is governed by objective laws, LAWS laws, which have roots in human nature. Everyone, see carefully read the words. Politics is governed by what? Objective laws. See the terms. This is how you will write essay as well. Remember this. Okay. When essays are given, statements like this will be given. You should elaborate them in the essay as well. What is the word? Politics is governed by what? Objective laws rooted in, what is it? Human nature. Can you explain me these two now? Can anyone try? What is the meaning of objective laws? Objective, subjective. Can you tell what is the difference between objective and subjective? Objective is based on facts. Subjective is? Have you heard the terms? We have heard, that's the problem. What is it? What is the meaning of objective, subjective? Okay, so okay, now one guy got 100 marks, another guy got 90 marks. Who got more? A got 100. Is there any confusion? Is there any confusion with respect to this? No. A is brilliant, but B is not brilliant. He's just average. Can we say that? Can we say that? Can we say there are many other factors to see whether he's brilliant or not? Do you agree with me? Maybe on that day he had fever. Like, maybe if you give other exams, he may be good. Let me tell you. That guy got 100, this guy got 10. Can I say he's intelligent? He's useless. Can we come to conclusion? He may be useful in something else. He may become Sachin Tendulkar, right? He may become something else. Are you getting the point? So, numbers, facts become objective. Objective doesn't change. Objective will be same for everyone. Okay, will be same for everyone. What is it? Let us say red signal came. Red signal came in traffic. Objectively, what I know, everyone will stop. Objective is that, but one guy will be there. Who will go? That is different. But what am I aware? Red signal came, everyone will stop. That is objectivity. Someone fell down. Someone got giddiness, they fell down. Everyone will come and help. May help, may not help. That is called subjective. When I cannot predict your behavior, when I cannot define your behavior, when it keeps on changing from person to person, it is called as subjective. Are you understanding? When you do not change, when you always act in a proper manner, then you are objective. Okay, when every one of us will agree on a particular thing, we say, yes, sir, 100 is greater than 10. So I conducted an exam. Who should be given first rank in the exam? Okay, whoever got 100 should be given first rank in the exam. Is that objective? Is that objective? Am I doing it because, okay, he is minister's son, I should give first rank? He is someone else's son, we should give second rank? Right? So, yes, objective loss. They're increasing. See, now, basic aspect that we all have to understand is human behavior has made certain laws also. We have also made certain laws. Can I say when, it's midnight or so, you should not disturb the neighbor? Do we have some common understandings, right? Can we say if there is, what do you call it as, like, yeah, we have also made certain laws like on this festival this should be done, on this culture this should be done, this is the harvesting time, this is like sowing time. Have we made some laws, rules for ourselves? You should not tell lie in a society, right? If you tell lie, you will be punished. If you do crime, you will be punished. Can I say, based on behavior, we have made certain laws? Same way as in society we have laws, in international relations also we have certain laws. And these laws, how did it come? It came from human nature. From human nature. I want you to know a very basic point. Classical realism or Morgenthau's main concept is, he says, state is similar to human. You should always remember this point. What? Classical realism's core point is very simple. What is that? State is similar to human. The way we humans, when we stay together, make certain objective laws acceptable for everyone, same way states also, when they are with each other, they will make some rules and regulations. So if we can understand human behavior, we can understand states' behavior. If we can understand society's rules and regulations, we can understand states' rules and regulations in international community. Are you getting the point? So the basic aspect is, here is, state is similar to what? Human. And international community, that means group of countries, international community is similar to what? Society. So whatever rules and regulations are there in society, similar rules and regulations will be there in international community also, because like humans, state also will behave. Remember, state is not irrational. State is rational. These initial days terminologies become important. And it is on these terminologies philosophy will be there. PSIR is about language. Language matters a lot. Rather than telling rich people, bourgeois matters a lot. Rather than telling poor people, proletariat matters a lot. Rather than telling, like, what you call as like state self-interest is important. If you can say, like, as realists argue, if you give those terminologies, you will get marks. So what is the two terms that we are talking? Rational and irrational. Rational and irrational. What is the difference? What is the meaning of rationality? Based on logic. Okay, good. Anything? Will you do anything which hurts yourself? Will you go and keep finger in a plug? No. Will you, when someone is putting the door, will you go and keep hand? No. Will children do? Can children go and keep finger in a plug? Yes. Can children hurt themselves? Yes. Can a rational person, logical person, will he do anything which hurts himself? No. State is rational, means state will never do anything which hurts itself. Are you understanding the point? State is rational means state will never do anything which hurts itself. I'll tell a very simple example. I have nuclear bomb. You have nuclear bomb. Okay. Now, I will drop nuclear bomb on you. What you will do? You will drop nuclear bomb on me. Knowing that if I put nuclear bomb on you, You will also drop nuclear bomb on me and destroy me. Will I wage war? No. I will understand that if I drop a bomb on you, in turn, I will also be affected. So I will never do anything which will hurt myself. That is called as what? Rational. Irrational means what? I'll die. I'm ready to die. Terrorist. Terrorists are irrational. Why? They keep bomb and come. You tell me, can you kill a terrorist who is already having bomb with him? You tell me, if you keep gun here until surrender, he will show bomb. He will open the bomb and show. He'll tell you surrender now. Correct? Are they ready to destroy themselves? They are called as what? Irrational. No one ever tries to do anything which hurts themselves. That is rationality. Logical. How are you rational? How are you rational? How do you take decisions? How do you take decisions? Are you people rational or irrational? You tell me. Are you people rational or irrational? What do you think you are? According to situation, you are rational or not. Okay. When you will be irrational, under what circumstances you like to be irrational? Or with whom you like to be irrational? Even online students can tell. Under when you like to be irrational. So when you have parents, relatives, will you be rational with them? Will you be rational or irrational? Okay, let me ask you. Especially boys. Okay. Girls bonding will be different. Boys bonding will be different. Boys call father. Okay. Normally talk will be less. The moment we call, they'll also understand. Like, if we say, how are you? They'll tell how much you want. Like, we'll tell this much. Okay, done. Cut. Mother, you tell everything. Whether food is nice, food is not nice, all this discussion. You won't talk all this with father. You won't tell food is bad. I went there. Like, I did that, this and all. Father will tell, why did you go? Can't you sit and study? What are you doing? Or if you tell food is not good, when we studied, food was not good. Go study. There you didn't go to enjoy. Study. Correct? Will you have the difference? This bonding always makes rational irrational. I'm just trying to tell. State is also rational irrational. Later theories will tell. State is also rational and irrational based on which other state is there. Are you understanding the point? If my enemy is there, I'm rational. If my friend is there, I'll become irrational. I may support, if I like Bhutan, I may support Bhutan. If I like US, I may support US. If I like Russia, I may support Russia. With China, I may become self-interest. So, do you understand the meaning of rational? Rational is always thinking and doing something. So, remember two things. First, I'm a human being, and according to Morgenthau, state is also like a human being. And the way human behaves, state also behaves the same way. Human beings, how to understand international relations? Morgenthau says, the way human beings behave in society, if we can understand, then we can understand how states behave in international community. The laws, rules, and regulations that exist for an individual in a society will be same for states as well. So, state and human beings are one and the same. Understanding society will help us in understanding international community. And then remember, man is rational. He will always do what is in maximum interest for himself. Same way, state is also rational. State will always do what is correct according to itself. These are the keywords. Fine. You write down. First principle you wrote. Below that you write. The first principle of realism holds that holds that politics, comma, like society in general is governed by objective laws that have their roots in human nature full stop. It is necessary to understand these laws, LAWS laws, and build a rational theory of international politics. Next paragraph. These laws, LAWS laws, cannot be challenged. Taking these as basis, we can formulate a rational theory of international politics. Full stop. Political realism believes that international politics operates on the basis of certain objective laws, LAWS laws. Next paragraph. Morgenthau tries to relate state to human beings. Full stop. His main principle is the way humans behave in society, comma, states also behave states also behave the same way the same way in international community in international community. So if we understand human nature human nature and make objective laws and make objective laws, then we can apply the same objective laws at international level below this. Facts of human nature. Facts of human nature, subheading. Below this, you write, for knowing, K-N-O-W-I-N-G, knowing the objective laws of human nature, we must analyze the facts of human relations. Facts of human relations. Human nature is fairly constant. And therefore a review of history of human relations and actions can help us to know these objective laws. Next paragraph. Once we understand the objective laws, then it is easy for us to understand international relations. But this understanding must be based on two important aspects. That is empirical empirical and logical. Before making any theory, we should check whether it is empirically correct and logically correct. Thus, in the first principle, Morgenthau helps us on how to make a theory in international relations. That is, we should study human behavior in society, and based on the behavior, make objective laws, and finally study international relations from the point of view of objective laws. Just one thing, what is the meaning of empirical? Empirically correct. We use the term empirically correct. That means if I say I took 100 examples, out of 100 examples, 80 examples showed me man always focuses on his own interest. Are you getting the point? Out of 100, 80 people behaved in their self-interest. 10 people supported others. 10 people were confused what to do. Are you getting the point? Now you tell me, according to 80%, can I say human nature is mostly interest-based? Am I telling on my thinking, or am I talking because of the behavior of people? Is it my own statement or is it proven statement? Can I say I have empirical data to prove that this has happened? So Morgenthau says, see, very simple. What is the first theory? How to make international theory. Okay, how to make a theory. That is first principle. If you state is similar to human beings, if you understand human beings' behavior, you understand state's behavior. The way human beings behave in society, state also behave in the same way in international community. Done. This is the core. But how to know how human beings behave? Read history. Take history. Study all the wars that have happened. Study all world history. Study post-independence India. Study what all has happened in the war. Do you understand how which state behaved with whom? How states changed their aspects? If I study 1948 war, 1965 war, 1971 war, 1999 war, I had 4 wars with Pakistan. Can I understand the behavior of Pakistan? Yes. And if I come to conclusion, am I coming to conclusion on my opinion of Pakistan, or am I coming to conclusion on the basis of data available? So can we say on the basis of data available, we will be in a position to come to proper conclusions. Now you tell, I did a survey. According to the survey, 80% of the people do not like this government. That means, can I say, I am not talking on the basis of my own opinion. I am talking on the basis of data. If you speak on the basis of data, it is called as empirical. Okay. If you use the same empirical data and make conclusions from it, then it is called logical. I will tell how. 10 people thought from others' point of view. And ultimately, these 10 people suffered. In the hands of 80 people who thought about themselves. Then what is the conclusion? Don't be thinking from others' point of view, because ultimately you will be punished. Are you getting the point? That is the first aspect. This, whether they ask or not, there is second principle based, mandatory question. Okay. So you write heading, second principle, subheading, second principle. You should by heart this line, guys. National interest defined in terms of national power. Fine? Okay. Let us think in this manner. Okay. This is, I'm telling you, core of realism. Right? Multiple times this question is asked. You should have proper theoretical analysis and theoretical understanding. See, if a question of these statements are asked, ready-made answers are available. Already discussed, debated, elaborated answers are there. There is no need for you to create answer of your own. In theories, you should stick to what they have told. That only if you write more than enough. Okay, this is static, guys. PSIR is static when it comes to part A of both papers. But what people do, they want to create new things, but forget what they told. They have already told. If you write that, it's more than enough. We have written, like, people like to see what they have told, because they see you as a student. They don't see you as a philosopher who give your own theory to them. So don't make your own concepts. You should stick to the points. Okay, now. Okay. What is your dream? If someone asks, what is your dream? Okay. To become IAS, IPS at this stage is fine. Fine. IAS, IPS at this stage is fine. But, okay, let me put this way. I saw a video where person started doing some questions, random questions he asked to people. Right. So he went to rich kids. He asked, if God comes to you now and asks you, what is your one wish? Okay. He asked. Most of the rich people, they told, I will ask this much money. Like, I want this toy. I want this flight. These things they were talking. Then they went and asked in Africa. They went and asked in war-torn areas, like, Palestine, all these areas, they did the interview. In Africa, people told food. I'll ask everyday meal. If God comes, I'll ask everyday meal. War-torn areas, when they went and asked, like, they told, if God comes, I want to see my father once. He died when I was young. Like, I want to see my brother once. I wish I could play with him again. Can I say, what you want depends upon what you have? Do you agree with me? What you want depends upon what you have. Do you respect what you don't have? Do you respect what you don't have? Right? Now think. India, 1947. What was our dream? What was our dream in independence? We got independence. I'm talking 1947, that's why. We got independence. What was India's dream? Did we want to become superpower in 1947? What was our thought? My people should be happy. There should not be any war in the world. Like, allow me to grow. We should have friendly relations. Correct? Was that our goal? Can I say that was non-alignment movement? Why non-alignment? I was weak. If I am weak, I talk about peace. Correct? You only think and tell. Now I talk about multi-alignment. What is multi-alignment? Do you have weapons? Do you have weapons? Russia, do you have weapons? I'll come with you. US, do you have weapons? I'll come with you. Let's go fight. So earlier, I was weak. I was weak. So I told, I don't want to join this group or I don't want to join this group, because if I come to you, I don't have anything to do. I don't know how to fight. Till now, I was a colony. Now again, I will be a colony with you. That is like, what my soldiers will do, they have to come and carry. But today, I am also equally powerful. So today, if US Army General will stand, Indian Army General will stand beside. At that time, US will be front, we will be back. So can I say, my national interest, today India wants to become superpower. Today India wants to become one of the developed country. Today India wants to become United Nations Security Council permanent member. 1947, we didn't think. We didn't go and ask, "Arey, you make me also." Did we ask? No. Why are we asking today? Powerful. When will you ask for your rights? When you are powerful. So, your national interest, what you want, depends upon your power. If you don't have power, what you ask and what you expect is less. If you have power, you expect more. You tell me, Bhutan, can it become superpower? Can it dream of superpower today? Why? Doesn't have resources, doesn't have weapons, doesn't have technology. So what Bhutan will tell? Peace. Are you getting my point? National interest defined in terms of national power. How much you have, what power you have, determines your ambition. Oh, I want to become rich. I want to clear exam. Yes, good. I won't study. Have you seen many people quit this exam? Have you seen many people, they tell, not for us. We'll go for IBPS. We'll go for bank PO. We'll go for some other job. I think UPSC is big. Have you seen many people, they stop at SI, constable. They don't think much. You tell me a guy who consistently got 35% in his entire career. Okay, entire career, nowhere, nothing. Just pass was very difficult for him. Will he take the risk of becoming IAS, or will he try to think constable is better? But if he is a topper, he has all problems in life, but he is topper, he studies very well. Will he think, if I become IAS, I can change my family's life? Will he think? Can we say that is determined by the amount of knowledge he has? Yes? You tell me, for a middle class person to change his life, what is required? Education. The moment I give education to you, do you have the capacity to change your family's fate? Can you earn little bit more money than what your family is earning today? Can you take care of your family better than what your family situation was before? That means, can I say, with education, your interest increases? So education is power. For a state, what is power? Weapons, money. If you have more weapons, if you have more money, you will think of becoming superpower. China had this basic thinking. 1960s, 1970s, China didn't have food to eat. Like, it told its people, I don't have food. Many people died because of hunger. China didn't give facts outside. Then China realized, if I can't feed my own people, how can I rule the world? So China told, today no one respects me, no one talks to me, only because I don't have money, I don't have weapons. The day when I talk to the world, the day when I talk to the world, people should listen to me. How to do it? They told money. 1980s till 2008, almost for 30 years, Chinese economy grew at 10% every year. China told, silent rise of China. In China, there is, I told you this, in China, there is a bamboo tree where, the bamboo tree, you have to put water for almost 3 years. Not even a seed comes out. That is what do you call a small stem doesn't come out. You have to wait for 3 years for stem to come out. But after 3 years, once the stem comes, it grows till 70 meters. And when asked what was the seed doing for 3 years, it was building the base. Because for 70 meters, when a bamboo grows, you should have a very strong root. Else when wind blows, it will break out. So that strong root was created for 3 years. China told to the world, silent rise of China. I will not talk to the world till I become powerful. And China had a goal of having $5 trillion in their Exim Bank. And China got $5 trillion. Once China got $5 trillion, China sat with the world and said, I also want to become superpower. Now you tell, today if China speaks, will the world listen or not? Why? And today, if I say China wants to become superpower, that means will we accept or not? That means, can I say possibility is there? 50 years back, if China had told they want to become superpower, people would have laughed. Today, if India says, I also want to compete with other countries in the world, will world take India seriously? Why? Because we have power. Are you getting the point? So what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? Your interest, your state's interest is determined by state's power. Are you? Core concept of Morgenthau's principle is second principle. 20 marks also they may ask this. Very, very important term. Fine. So you write first. This is master key, KEY key, and core of Morgenthau's realism. Morgenthau's realism. Full stop. This principle holds that nations always define and act for securing their national interest by means of power. By means of power. Underline that, means of power. Next point, in inverted commas, you write, the main signpost that helps, SIGNPOST, signpost that helps realism to understand international politics better compared to other theories is that the national interest is defined in terms of power. Full stop. This concept, continuing in the inverted commas, this concept helps us to get a link between reason trying to understand international politics and the facts that we need to understand. The facts that we need to understand in close inverted commas. Next paragraph you write, nation always try to achieve their goals and it is possible to achieve their goals only when the goals are backed by are backed by BACKED, backed by power. Power. Note here Morgenthau wants to argue that every country has its own national interest, and that national interest is based on the power the country has. The power the country has. Next paragraph. History proves us that whenever a country has made any national interest by considering its own national power, then they have been successful in achieving their national interest. Next point. Right? National interest is always secured by use of national power. National interest is always secured by use of national power. Underline this statement. What is the meaning of this? How will I achieve my national interest? By increasing my national power. Each nation, right below, each nation conceptualizes its national interest in terms of its own power, and then they act to secure its interest by means of power. Next paragraph. A national interest Without power, is just an imagination, is just an imagination. It is useless. It is useless to have ambition, without required power, without required power. So history tells us that every foreign policy maker, will have his own country's national interest, his own country's national interest, based on how much power the country has. He never acts or takes measure which the country cannot do, because of lack of power, which the country cannot do because of lack of power. So guys, what is the core thing here? Just one thing. What is it? If you don't have power, don't dream big. If you dream big, then bring power. Dream without power is just imagination. We have some more in this point only, as I told. We'll see that tomorrow.